Okay, so let us get started. Just give some brief instructions, as usual, about meditation practice, and just again, the very basic things from meditation is you start, you sit down, you find the ease in the body, in the mind, particularly the body to begin with. And this is already very important. Even if one just focuses on the ease of the body, just relaxing, just learning how to be truly relaxed, it will be a very pleasant experience just to sit there in a relaxed body. And you know that the body is relaxed when the body kind of is not a problem anymore. The body starts to be unimportant. It sort of fades into the background a little bit. It's not an issue. It's not something you have to sort out. It's not something that you derive any pleasure from, anything like that. The body is just right. So even if you can do that much, then meditation practice is going to be beneficial. And then when the body becomes nice and easy, then the mind also wants to become nice and easy, right? And this is the idea here, is always the idea of kind of withdrawing the willpower from the mind. And withdrawing the willpower means to accept things as they are and just be an observer. And as you observe things and you accept things for what they are, the mind starts to settle down. Because when you pull out the doer from the mind, pull out the willpower from the mind, then things tend to settle down. It's the willpower that stirs things up and kind of makes things move and think and all these kind of things. So this is kind of the initial stage, and that's already going quite deep if you can go that far. But the most important thing beyond that, if you want to take it beyond that, the most important thing is your attitude in meditation practice. How do you relate to the present moment? How do you relate to what's going on? And the Buddha gives a number of skillful ways of actually establishing this right attitude. This is the attitude here, is what moves you away from the defilements of the mind and towards joy and peace and all these other beautiful states of mind. And this can only really be achieved when the attitude is right. And one way of gaining that right attitude, and this was one of the things I was talking about yesterday during the Dhamma talk, and this is to do the reflection on the Dhamma, the Dhammanusati, the recollection of the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, these beautiful teachings that are there to apply right in this present moment. And it is marvelous that there is such a thing as the Dhamma in the world. It's not obvious at all that these teachings should even exist, right? These teachings that when you apply them rightly here and now, they will always lead you in the right direction. They lead you towards something positive. Every time you apply them rightly, they lead you in the right way. And it doesn't matter where you are on the path. Dhamma is good in the beginning, good in the middle, good in the end, right? It doesn't matter where you are on the path. It always will lead you to another even higher state, even more beautiful, even more peaceful, even more happy. This is one of the aspects of the Dhamma called opanaiko. Opanaiko means something like something which kind of always brings you further on, always kind of takes you on to a new stage, always some extra happiness which is available on this path, right? Doesn't matter where you are, there's always more to be had. And this is kind of a marvelous thing that there is such a teaching in the world. And when you reflect like that, it actually inclines your mind in a very positive direction. And you will notice that. This is not just a part of it, of course, is just theory. This is what the Buddha says, the path is like this. But you will notice that in your own life. You will see that actually it's true. As you practice a single session of meditation, you will see that during that session of meditation something happens. If not always, but a lot of the time it will. And you will find that you are more peaceful, you're more at ease, you're more relaxed when you end the session than when you started. So towards the end of the session, always ask yourself, how do you feel? What happened during that meditation? How did you get where you are now? And when you see that, you will do two things. You will learn about meditation, the causes and effects. What are the causes that bring about the effects? And in this way you will ensure that you succeed in meditation in future. And what you will learn, more than anything, you will learn, first of all, how to just to relax. It's very, very basic things, right? But still very important. You learn how to relax properly. You learn what it means to withdraw the willpower just to observe. And you learn a little bit about right attitude when you look back on your meditation afterwards. That's the first thing. The second thing you will do is that you will get a sense of a feeling that it works, that the Dhamma actually is sandittika, as it says in the recollection of the Dhamma. Sandittika and akalika. And sandittika means visible, is visible right here and right now. And when the Buddha explains this idea of visible right here and right now, he says that what it means is that you can see into your mind, understand the defilements of the mind, or the lack of defilements right in the present moment. And because you can see them, and because you can know what they are, it means that you can also overcome these things. And when you overcome them, you will feel, in this present moment, you will feel that release from the defilements, which will always lead towards peace, towards happiness. Right? This is the sandittika aspect of the Dhamma, that you can always see how these things lead to peace, contentment, right here in the present moment, if you apply the mind in the right way. So this Dhamma is an extremely precious teaching. If you apply it rightly, then you will find that the Dhamma, and this again is the kind of the marvel of it, it gives you anything you ever wanted in life comes as a result of the practice of the Dhamma. Anything you ever wanted in terms of all the happiness, all the true sense of well-being, contentment that you ever wanted, and actually much more than you ever realized was possible, can be achieved through Dhamma practice. So says the Buddha, and so you will start to understand yourself as this meditation and the whole path starts to bite in your own practice. By thinking like this, you can inspire yourself. You can kind of build up the sense that there's something amazing, something wonderful. The Buddha calls the Dhamma something marvelous, even miraculous, because it works in this way. And it can be passed on from a teacher like the Buddha to any student or disciple who is willing to listen. So this is the marvel. So try to reflect like this and see if that can give you that little push, which gives that inspiration, gives you that joy, gives you the, as it says in the Sutta, the inspiration and the joy that comes with the Dhamma. And when you do that, it pushes you forward and it allows you to go deeper in the meditation practice. Okay, so let's do some meditation together here. So I encourage you to try to do the meditation in the same way every time, to always go through all the steps. Sometimes you can go through the steps more quickly, sometimes more slowly. It's always good to go through the steps to make sure that everything is just right. So always start off with the body. Make sure that you're nice and comfortable. And when you're nice and comfortable, then just feel the body for a while. Feel it to make sure that it is relaxed. And if it is not 100% relaxed, then stay just with the body until it starts to fade away, because it is so relaxed and so pleasant and so nice, it doesn't really matter anymore. And as you feel the body, as you scan the body, remember to have this very gentle gaze that gazes over the body. You're like a nurse trying to heal yourself to become really at ease and really relaxed. And in a sense, have compassion for yourself and compassion for your body, for all the hardship it has to go through. Have a sense of gratitude. Thank your body for all the services you have provided. And as you scan the body in this way, you find that you relax very beautifully, and you find the sense of physical peace inside of yourself. And as you practice in this way, you find that there's almost nothing that you really have to do. All you have to do is just to wait for these things to settle down. And when you come to the next stage, so to speak, all you have to be is to be aware of what is happening. No judgment, nothing to be done, just awareness. And as the awareness gets established, things settle down even more. All you have to do is to be aware, to be a passive observer. if you find yourself just enjoying the peace, then you can also try to boost the peace a little bit, to add a little bit of joy by reflecting in a certain way. And one way of doing that is just to reflect on how fortunate you are to have come across this Dhamma teaching, this rare, extremely rare, but extremely beautiful teaching that can take you from an ordinary life, an ordinary existence, all the way to the peaks of happiness and freedom of suffering. What a marvelous thing it is, what a wonderful thing it is that such a thing exists in the world, and that now you have access to these teachings. Feel that sense of gratitude and thankfulness for the existence of something so beautiful in this world. And as you practice in this way, the breath will sometimes appear. And when the breath appears, just very gently allow your attention to rest on the breath. Don't use any force, never go looking for the breath, never try to find it. Just wait for the breath to come by itself. In this way, it becomes a very gentle and very easy practice to follow. And as you allow this to happen, then each time the breath disappears, you just wait. Wait for the breath to come back, and only then do you rest your attention on it. Gradually building up the meditation and building up the mindfulness. And the meditation is almost coming to an end. And now is the time to review what has happened, whether you feel any better. And if you feel better, then ask yourself why. What has happened and how has it come about? And if you don't feel any better, then also ask yourself why. Why is it that you are where you are? What are the causes and what have those causes led to? And in this way, try to enhance your understanding of the process of meditation here. Okay, so are there any questions or comments or anything anybody would like to say? Okay, here. Christina, thank you. Yeah. Anybody, anything you want to say? Yeah. Everybody happy? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we have one here from somebody called Sumana, who says that sometimes when I'm meditating, I feel my mind clouded with thoughts which are vivid, as if in a dream, but I'm sure I'm not falling asleep. What should I do about this? Okay, so this is one of the most common problems in meditation, obviously, the idea that you have that you think a lot. Either you tend often to become either tired or you tend to think. This is a very common problem. And of course, what we're trying to do is to get clarity of mind where there's no thought really going on. So the best way to deal with this is not to use force or try to push the thinking away. This is what people often do, trying to use force. But remember that it is the force in the mind that is what creates the thinking in the first place, right? It's the will that creates thoughts. And because the will creates thoughts, if you use will to overcome them, you're basically just compounding the problem. So a better way is just to be very patient and just try to observe the thinking mind, be aware of it, get some distance from the thinking mind, as if you're standing back, as if you're watching a movie, right? So you are over here, the thoughts are over there, and you're watching what's going on. In this way, it's like you're detaching from the thoughts. And by detaching, you're taking a lot of the power away from the thinking mind. If you are involved in the fantasy, if you are involved in the thinking, then it has a lot of power over you. It's like you are in the middle of the current, being pulled along by the current of thinking, of the thought. But if you get some distance, the power of the thinking starts to be taken out of the thinking mind. And then you can watch it and observe it. And as you do that, things tend to calm down. This is a good way. It's not necessarily very easy to do. It's not always going to work. Sometimes you work a little bit, then you're back into the thinking again. Then you reestablish the awareness. The awareness reestablishes itself really after a while. And then you are aware again, and you get pulled along, and then you are aware. But over time, you find that you are more able to gain that distance from the thinking mind. So this is what happens. And of course, the whole practice of Buddhism, the whole practice of the Noble Eightfold Path and of virtue and of all these other things, they support the clarity of the mind. This is why we do have virtue or morality or building up one's character, so to speak. This is why we have these things, because these things are supportive for the meditation practice, supporting for the clarity of the mind. And if you live an immoral life, you're going to have much more of these kind of problems than if you live a good life. So just have to be patient and try to practice in this way, and slowly you will see that it improves. What matters in meditation is not where you are, what kind of state you achieve. What matters is that you are improving, you're going in the right direction. That's what matters. Because we all start on different places. You can't expect anything in particular. All you can expect is really an improvement in your meditation practice. Okay, anybody else want to say anything? Yeah. Everybody else okay? Yeah. Okay, let's pay respect to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha.